Set expectations low and blow people's minds with my mediocrity. What is the most effective psychological trick you use? One that I picked up from a friend of mine whenever he was trying to pick out dinner with his GF, rather than ask, "What do you want?" and getting the typical, "I dunno, anything," answer and then having suggestions shot down. Start with, "What do you not want?" Used it a few times in some of my relationships and it's the godsend question. Saying hello to everybody you know, and with a smile. Often people who know each other from when they were in primary school or just from the block when they were young give each other an awkward smile instead of an happy good day. Just imagine, if someone walks into you twice a year and both times you smile and greet them enthusiastically, they will think of you as a nice person. So little effort for a person to find you friendly. This isn't something I've used but I think it's worth sharing. Darren Brown said that once there was a muscly drunk guy that wanted to beat him up and said the classic, "What are you looking at?" Darren replied with, "The wall outside my house is 4 feet tall." The idea is that it puts the aggravated person on the back foot and takes them out of that adrenaline-filled state. Anyways, he sat down and the guy started crying to him about his GF. He is Darren Brown though, so I wouldn't recommend this to everyone. Think of my future self. How will my future self feel in an hour or two if I skip my gym session? Will my future self be happy if I do this pile of dishes now, before bed? Or would he prefer to have to do it in the morning, before work? I have a 3-month deadline on this project. Will my future self appreciate my current self taking the first 3 or 4 weeks easy, or will he be really pissed off? Essentially delayed gratification. Pretty much all the bad stuff gives us instant gratification, while all the good stuff has delayed gratification. I always try to remember that, if I have to wait to reap the rewards then it's probably the best option. I used this technique at university where I couldn't stand the thought of having to answer questions in front of a group of people. So if you find yourself in a group situation where someone, a leader, tutor, manager etc., is asking questions that must be answered and you want to avoid being picked so that you don't have to talk, then here is my tip. If the person locks eyes on you as they ask the question, then just as they are about get to the end of their question you break eye contact and look towards another person in the room and hold it. Their attention is diverted to that other person just as the question ends and the person they are now looking at feels compelled to answer. If however the person starts asking the question while looking at someone else, then look at that other person and hold it so you can't get suckered. Use it sparingly because if you do it enough on the same person, they will be onto you. IDK if this is an actual thing or not. Or maybe just distractions. But when I do something annoying or bothersome to my husband and he goes quiet, I wait a few minutes and then I ask him a seemingly innocent question, usually on the subject of how certain parts of a car works, or something mechanical. This gets him talking about the car thing and he rambles for like 5 minutes and then bam. He's happy again and not quietly brooding. I'll never tell him I do that because I'm afraid it won't work anymore if he knows about it. It's foolproof though, it works every single time, no matter how bothered he is. Listening to someone without giving advice or pushing for more information typically nets me more information than being pushy for it. When somebody shy is speaking, if you look at them and nod your head it encourages them to keep talking. I'm a professional poker player. When I am in a pot with one other player, I often try to make them laugh when they are thinking about what to do. If you can get them to laugh, it sets them in a mood where they are unlikely to bluff. I talk a lot in general, it's very common to make jokes at the table even in hands. Music. Putting headphones in and playing the music that I know I'd want to hear if I was in the mood that I want to be in shifts me over to that mentally, and really helps when I need to calm down or when I need to feel happier. In an argument find something to agree on then push your main point. When you are standing in a group and somebody tells a joke or something funny happens, people tend to look towards the person they like the most while laughing. My wife calls this the simplest, most manipulative thing I do. Whenever I bump into an acquaintance, meaning not friend, just a person I know, I of course say hi and the conversation goes like this. Me. Hey, how are you? Name. You look good. Them. Laugh. Thank you. I'm good. How are you? Me. I'm great. I'm on the way to wherever I am going to at the time and I tell them why too. So what are you doing here? Them. Go into same detail to tell me where they're going and why. Me. Alright, well I won't keep you up any longer than I have a good day. Name. It leaves people feeling good, takes away the awkwardness of cutting a convo short and it makes them want to leave. If someone says they have the hiccups, ask them to prove it. 9/10 times, their hiccups will disappear. Having to summon a hiccup in order to demonstrate will trick your diaphragm into just not hiccuping. I've been able to twist it around on myself with some success as well, but it takes practice. You realize you have hiccups, then try to hiccup. Actively try to make yourself do another one. It'll stop. If you need to de-escalate someone and get them to communicate. Asking questions about numbers, personal information. I work in emergency services. If someone is totally distraught and shut down, asking their phone number, address, SSN, birth date can pull them out of the emotional place and bring them back to a headspace where they can talk about what happened more easily. I often ask these questions even after I have the information just to de-escalate. I work with a bunch of idiot lawyers and I use the phrase, "You're correct," all the time, even if it's one teeny tiny thing they're correct about. It makes them feel smart and they instantly soften. It also keeps them listening because they're hoping more flattery will come down the pike. Evil cackle. Thanking someone for a trait you want from them. Instead of telling a customer you're sorry for their wait, tell them thank you for your patience or understanding. Works wonders. My youngest, 4, got into the why phase a little while back. Read an article that said the best way to get them to stop was to ask them, "I'm not sure, what do you think?" It is a godsend. They answer their own question, you provide some feedback, "Sounds good to me." And they immediately move on. Fucking awesome. When I ask someone a question and their first response is, "What?" I just stare at them for a few seconds, and 99% of the time they answer my question without me having to repeat myself. I think it's just a subconscious reflex people have to ask, "What?" instead of answering what you've asked even when they've heard you clearly. Instead of arguing, I start off by agreeing and then state my point of view after addressing the other person's point. Always ends in a positive interaction. Edit. The idea is to show respect for what the other person thinks. Assuming that the person isn't a complete moron, they more than likely have a valid point. Rather than shutting the person down and telling them they're wrong, you listen to them. Then after hearing them out, you can bring up your own point of view. The goal is to have a respectful exchange of opinions rather than a flat-out argument where two people flat-out don't agree with each other and leave each other without learning anything from one another. When you need to find out a name, e.g. for a lead, you say, "Oh, is John still managing up there?" They go, "No, it's Mark now." Works with anything, just use a fake. Is that your focus outside? What? No, mine's the Ferrari. Smiling. Smile at the bartender, they'll be more likely to come to you quicker. Smile at your colleague in the morning and they'll be more open to the request that you've got for them later. Smile at your kids and they'll feel loved. Smile at your partner and they'll wonder what they've done that's made you so happy. Smile at me and I'll smile back and we'll both feel great for a few minutes. Smile at everyone when you meet them. Smile in a job interview. Smile at the shop worker, the bin man, the postman, the random dog walker in the park, the person who nearly bumped into you on the street, the barista, your teacher, your mom and your dad. Smile at yourself in the mirror and give yourself a cheeky wink. Writing. Smile is making me smile. And I feel great now, so I'm gonna go and get a sandwich. Thanks for reading. Whenever I know somebody is holding some truth from me, I'll look at them and stay silent, no nodding, no acknowledging, just looking. The silence usually brings out the truth or extra detail. If they squirm around a bit, you know there's something they have exaggerated, etc. Be direct and personal when you need things. Instead of asking if anyone has an EpiPen, ask WHO has an EpiPen. Instead of saying someone call 911, point to someone, say you in the blue jacket, what's your name? Tom. Okay Tom, go call 911 and come tell me when they are in the way. Playing dumb gets you out of a lot, but not too dumb. Don't say, "It's okay," when someone apologizes. Say something like, "Thank you for apologizing." If someone needs to apologize to you, then it was something that isn't okay. My mom teaches this to her kindergartners and it really does make a difference. Opens doors for growth and conversation too. "Thank you for apologizing, I don't like it when you hit me." Or whatever. I recently read that saying, "You're right," instead of, "I know," makes you look less like an asshole and doesn't diminish something someone else may have just found out. I think it's pretty effective at not letting you look like a total ass. I work as a creative director. I have a lot of great clients, unfortunately with a few shitty managers from their side. They usually go with the mantra of, if it's not my idea, it's not a good idea. I end up, sometimes, telling them about something Google, Tesla, Amazon, Samsung, etc. is doing, and how we could try it. They jump at these ideas. The ideas are actually mine or my team's. Works like a charm. Use this sparingly. Using it as an easy escape is not a good idea. It works, but know when to use it. If you use it all the time, it won't make you look any better. It will also allow people to be promoted who aren't capable of doing the job, pointed out by Rootfoot. Thank you. Good luck everyone. I currently manage around 240 people between 6 restaurants. It is often hard to get them to do what is needed. I have found saying, "I need your help," is sufficient to get them on board. People want to feel needed and like they are making a difference. Expressing to them as much makes all the difference in the world. When I'm doing backcountry hiking patrol in a wilderness area, I'm supposed to keep an eye out for people with dogs, which are not allowed. The ranger taught me to ask any dog walkers, "Are you looking for somewhere to walk your dog?" That gives them the chance to pretend they didn't know about the rule, signs posted of course, so they don't lose face. Then I give them a brochure with dog-friendly trails. It's a brilliantly non-confrontational technique, and I use it in other parts of my life. If you need to remember something, think about it while doing something noticeably unusual. This will pair the memory with the something, so that when it is noticed later on it will trigger that particular memory. I have to work with kids a lot, having a summertime job, where I volunteer to assist counselors at a camp for service hours and having 5 younger siblings. Don't tell them not to do something. If I told you, don't think about unicorns, you'll immediately think about unicorns for the split second I say it. If I instead said, think about turtles, you'll think about turtles for at least that split second I said it. Don't tell a kid not to something, rather tell them to do something else. Instead of, don't hit your sister, say, let's play a nice game with your sister. That way you don't put the idea into their mind that you don't want them doing it, which, in their childish manner, fuels the fire to do it more.